Hello and welcome to the first episode of Star Wars WTF. This is a series where I want to go through all the Star Wars TV shows and movies and kind of poke fun at it, find the moments that make us want to go WTF. And we're going to find some lore along the way. If it's been a while since you've watched all the Star Wars TV shows and movies, then this series is perfect for you. I want to go through everything. I mean, everything Star Wars. This is not an original idea on YouTube, but no one's done it with Star Wars yet. This video is going to be a test because this is going to be a huge, monumental undertaking. I want to invite you to come on this journey with me. Come, let us take a journey through Star Wars, and let us find the things that we can laugh at together. Let me know if you want to see this series continue by liking the video and subscribing. Don't get offended if I make fun of something that you like, because we're just poking fun at our favorite franchise. We're going to be doing this series in chronological order. That's starting with the Acolyte and going clear to the Rise of Skywalker as of right now. Here's the list we're going to be using. It's the official StarWars.com list of all the Star Wars TV shows and movies chronologically ordered. So we're starting with the Acolyte, and there are a ton of WTF moments in the Acolyte. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe if you want to see this series continue. So let's start with Acolyte, Episode 1. So the scroll down says, 100 years before the rise of Skywalker, it is a time of peace. The Jedi Order and Galactic Republic have prospered for centuries without war, but in the dark corners of the galaxy, a powerful few learn to use the Force in secret. One of them, a lone assassin, risks discovery to seek revenge. The show starts at the planet Yuta, and we get an assassin who is undercover going to hunt a Jedi. If you want to not look like an assassin, don't wear what she's wearing. At least the assassin paid the little fly thing, you know. Hey, it's making her look like a good guy already. Master Indara looks like she's enjoying herself at the bar. She's just like sitting there. So the assassin goes right up and introduces herself to Master Indara. I really love how she says, "Yes, my child," like the Lord or something. The assassin strips down and goes into a fighting stance. So already, this assassin's a dick, dude. Those guys were just having a drink, you know, they're just chilling out. And what does this assassin do to go after the Jedi? Take out all her friends. They were just trying to chill, man. It's, you know, it's not their fault. So a huge fight ensues, and of course, the assassin's using knife against a Jedi Master who is using a lightsaber in the Force. Now, an assassin using knives, throwing knives no less, against a Jedi Master with a lightsaber. It's mind-boggling how this show starts. It really is. The assassin and Master Indara have a nice little moment of silence. The assassin takes the opportunity to throw a knife at the bartender, which Master Indara stops with the Force. The assassin at the same time throws a dagger right into Master Indara's chest. The first Jedi character we have in the Acolyte is dead already. 5 minutes into the show, you'd think a Jedi Master would have been able to sense another knife coming, but that doesn't happen, and she dies immediately. It made zero sense at all, and then the assassin goes down, grabs her knife back from the bartender, looks kind of like a good guy in a weird way, but this show is about the bad guy in Star Wars, making them look like the good guy. We're introduced to Osha and Pip, and Osha's job is repair person on this ship. We get to see a couple of Neimoidian brutes, which of course were introduced in Star Wars Episode 1. Apparently she's working for the Trade Federation. Her task is to repair a shield generator on the outside of the ship. They put their spacesuits on and head to the hull of the ship. Osha attempts to fix the shield generator, and of course, she breaks it, and it starts a fire on the outside of the ship. Yes, a fire in space. Osha has a PTSD moment from looking at a small fire. Probably not the best place to be working if you get a flashback from a small fire. Probably not, you know, fixing things that may be set on fire. So they get done fixing the hull of the ship, put out the fire in space, and they see a Jedi ship come in. Yord Fandar and his Padawan come goose-stepping in, and they stride into the bridge of the ship to talk to the Neimoidian captain of that ship. If your goal there is to negotiate with the captain of a ship, you don't goose-step into the hull of the ship right up to the captain's face like you're ready for a fight. It really gets on my nerves that the Jedi in this show wear yellow tunics. I don't know why. There's just something about it, like the white on yellow. If they just would have flipped those colors like that one dress, that everybody can't see is blue and gold. Yord uses the Force somehow on this captain of the ship. Yord immediately makes the Jedi look terrible. The Jedi were dicks before episode 1. Osha walks into her room, I'm assuming that that's her room, and finds Yord sitting up, like staring off into the distance, just like Master Andara did at the beginning of the show. I don't know what these Jedi do all day, but apparently they just sit there and look forward. The Jedi ask Osha how long she's been a mechanic, and she says 6 years. You've been a mechanic for 6 years, you've been doing it that long, and you can't even weld one thing without starting a fire in space? I find that hard to believe. They brought the bartender onto the ship to identify... I wonder how long of a trip that was. I mean, there is hyperspace, but I wonder how long of a trip that was for the bartender. But yeah, he identifies Osha as the killer of the Jedi and for ruining his bar. So they take Osha back to Coruscant to face the trials. The show goes back to Coruscant and it looks exactly like it did from episode 1. The Jedi don't use too many skills from the real world to find evidence of a murder. They just bring a bartender on a ship and say, "Is this the one?" And why would you be hiding as a mechanic on a Trade Federation ship if you just murdered a Jedi? I think they'd be in hiding a little better than that. We come to Master Sol training a new generation of younglings. So Master Venestra comes up to Sol. Sol breaks the class for lunch, just with the best acting in this show. She approaches him and says, "I'm sorry to tell you, but your friend died." And Sol, of course, responds the most elegant way. Yes, I am sorry to hear that she died a very violent and brutal death." Venestra also tells Sol that we need to cover this up. Venestra tells Sol that they have to cover up the killing of Master Andara by a former Jedi. And Sol has a connection to this Jedi. Osha was discovered to be Sol's old apprentice. Osha's placed on a space paddy wagon. There are other prisoners, so apparently it looks to me like the Jedi are going from place to place and just picking up wanted people and throwing them all in this jail ship and transporting them back to Coruscant. I don't know what they do with them. Osha escapes the prison she was in and lands the ship. Somehow survives a fall through space and through the atmosphere. Somehow the ship didn't just explode on impact the ground, but it slid to a nice stop. Sol questions a prisoner that was found alive on the ship. Well, more like just pulls the information right out of his head. Again, the Jedi are just dicks in this show, man. He's claiming that Osha saved them. Sol asks Venestra if he can go and get her back himself. I really do love the scene where she says, after he walks away, she's like, "May the Force be with you." It's like, what the fuck? What is going on in this? Osha wakes up on Karlak and she is in the wreckage of the ship. Somehow again, she survived that 3,000 mile an hour crash and the ship's still intact. Master Sol and Jeki are walking to start their mission, going across the ship. They run into a shirtless Yord, steam cleaning his Jedi robes. We are in for a treat here because this is the first shirtless Jedi that we get to see in Star Wars, and you know, it was about time. It was about time that we've seen a half-naked Jedi. I've been waiting for that moment for a long time, and I'm really glad it's in this show. Osha has a vision of what we will soon find out to be her sister May. She goes, "Hello, Osha," and she gets thrown into a burning forest, which should trigger a lot more than that small fire on the ship. And for the first time in this show, we hear the saying, "You are with me, I am with you," which we will hear a lot more. Somehow both of them turn into little girls again, and May turns into a creepy little girl with black orbs for eyes. She asked May if she killed Andara, to which May says, "Yes." Osha wakes up in the wreckage to find her droid Pip is in perfect condition, which is a good thing because that's one of the most interesting characters in this show. We return to Sol and Jeki traveling on the ship, and again, they are both sitting there staring off into the distance like all the Jedi do in this show. It's so fun. They're never doing anything. Like most of the time the Jedi on the show are just sitting pointlessly staring into the distance, probably thinking about something real deep. Jeki asks Sol, how does he know this person? And he says, "I met her 18 years ago when her sister started a fire that killed her entire family." He explains that Osha was the only one that survived and that he took her as his Padawan. The Jedi land, inspect the wreckage, and Osha's body is not there, so they run out of the ship into the wilderness of the snowy abyss. They find her in a cave, and of course Yord is the first one to ignite his lightsaber, being the dick that he is. But I'll give him a pass for that, because I probably would do that too if, I thought I was hunting a Jedi killer who can kill people with a butter knife. I'd probably have like 2 or 3 or 4 lightsabers out if I was going after a butter knife killer like that. If I was going after someone that dangerous. Of course, she comes to a cliffside and has nowhere left to run. Sol, Yord, and Jeki find Osha at the edge of a cliff, and Osha yells out, "I didn't do it! Please, Sol, believe me, I didn't do it." And then she falls off the edge of the cliff, and Master Sol saves her. Should have just let her go. Honestly, it would have ended the show, and it would have saved us 8 episodes of watching. Look, I'm just kidding. I'm not going to be that mean to this show, but yeah. I gotta say, I do like the use of the Force and the sound effects in this show. Sol's happy to see Osha alive and brings her in with a smile. Yord still has his lightsaber activated like it's about to go down. The last scene shows May walking on a rocky, stormy beach and running into the stranger. For the first time in chronological order, at least for Star Wars, a Jedi or a Sith ignites their lightsaber for no good reason. Every time they ignite their lightsaber for no reason, I'm gonna count it in this show. He says some kind of riddle or rhyme about Jedi killing with weapons, Acolytes kill with no weapons, living a dream, fighting with weapons, Acolytes don't fight with weapons because they don't live in dreams. I don't know. Nobody really knows what it means. I don't think the stranger knows what it means. That was it for the first episode of The Acolyte and the first episode of Star Wars WTF. If you did enjoy this, please hit that like button. Show me that you want more of this. Get your popcorn ready. We'll be back for episode 2. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you next time.